What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 3, part 3 rather, I guess, of this FM Simulates. We're back. You guys know what it is by now. Pep Guardiola at a non-league club. The story so far is as follows. He has managed to get Boston United all the way up to League One, and this is where we left things last time. Yes, they've done pretty well, haven't they, over the years? We're going to see how he gets on today. I have no idea what's going to happen. When we left things last time, as you know, he was wanted by a few clubs, but following on from a promotion, I feel like he's probably going to stay at Boston. I hope he's going to stay at Boston, otherwise this could be a shorter video, although if he does leave during this video, or indeed in part 4, part 5, who knows how long this is going to go on for. What we will do is we will just simulate kind of 5 years into the future, see what became of Pep after Boston and how Boston got on without him. In my head, that makes the most sense. I know some people want me to go on till the end of time, but I feel like that's not really what this simulates was all about. Anyway, before we get into this, 50% of you who watch these Pep videos aren't already subscribed to the channel. What are you doing? Tomorrow, we have got a huge video coming. It is Mbappe stuck at a non-league club. You're not going to want to miss it. Subscribe, get the notification bell rung, and well, without further ado, let's go to 2028. Pep, what have you got up to? I'm hurting. I really hurt. I wanted to start off this by saying you can catch parts 1 and 2 in the top of the description, but that is not Boston United Orange. 1 year after we left things, he's gone to Pompey, who are in the Championship, I'd assume? Yeah, they are in the Championship. They're 23rd in the Championship as well. Oh, they've been relegated. Oh, okay, so what happened in League One? What happened to Boston? Lincoln won in the playoff final. Boston finished bottom. Oh, my heart. They were predicted to finish bottom. Who took over? When did Pep leave? So Pep left in November. He left in November and they had a new manager come in, Sforza, and he's still at the club, but he's seen the team get relegated. So on the 27th of November, he left. Where were they at that point? Oh, Pep, what have you done? Oh, my word. I mean, they were mid-table. Oh, it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. I don't know how to feel. I feel hurt. Pep, what have you done? What happened in the transfer market? Did they spend money? Did they make money? So they sold a few lesser-known players, although they lost Friat to Dundee. I'm surprised they let him go so cheap, although he didn't play too many times for them, I guess. In the window, they made one big signing, and that was Bradley from Fleetwood. He looks pretty good, actually. He got 3 goals, though, so not exactly a prolific return for him. You can see Arnold is still playing up front for them. The tale of Wayne Arnold continues. He got 11 goals in League One, to be fair. Was that Boston United's top goal scorer? Yeah, it was. Oh my, I can't believe they finished bottom. I'm actually upset, and I'm more upset than I ever thought I was going to be. Oh, I feel like we should go forward 1 more year and then go forward a big leap in time. I was not expecting it to happen as soon as this. I didn't really know what was going to happen. I figured that Pep would get stolen eventually. So he got stolen, and then he went to Pompey. Oh, I hurt. I hurt a little bit. So he joined in November and they were relegated. What was their past league position? Was he brought in to save them? I mean, I assume he was. If we just look at Portsmouth here, I mean, they were bottom of the league. They were only at the relegation zone for 3 game weeks all year. It was not a good season for them. It's not even like he did a load of good work with them either. Oh, he's thrown away his legacy to go to Portsmouth, and I'm just not sure how to feel. Interesting that he played a 4-2-3-1 here, because I noticed that someone said about the fact that Pep's favourite formation was listed as the 4-2-3-1 wide, but from at least, I think, our observations at Boston, he played a 4-3-3 or a 4-1-2-3. You know, the formation, I mean, with a defensive mid and 2 centre mids. So it's interesting that he went back to his preferred formation. They've given him a big pay rise. He's only got a contract to the end of next year. I mean, presumably they're going to give him next year to turn things around now. Did he attempt to spend money? Wow, okay, they spent a lot of money, and actually most of that was spent in January from the looks of things. They brought in Phil Barlow to try and be a difference maker. He's a right winger who can play striker. He got 1 goal in 18. So not a great return, really. In fact, that average rating is absolutely atrocious. And that was a signing that Pep made as well. He also brought in McDonald here from Birmingham. He averaged a 6.87 average rating. Interestingly enough, he starts at Manchester City. So reunited with Pep. But yeah, it wasn't so good. You can see their past kind of spend here. Actually, looking at it, they did make 11 million in sales, although most of that was this guy, Burrows, who I'm surprised Forest paid £7.5 million for, but they did. Actually, looks like they made the right call to sell him. What's Portsmouth's league history been like? So actually, they've been a bit of a yo-yo team. In fact, they spent a few years in the Championship, got relegated, and then last year they finished 13th. He's obviously come in and he's not been able to make a difference. Justin Hooper is apparently their key player. He's a pretty good centre mid. Liverpool trainee. So Portsmouth, they're not doing great. They're a team a little bit on the ropes. Meanwhile, for our folks at Boston, it's an awful season as their local rivals Lincoln City get promoted to the Championship and they're relegated down to League Two. Now, to be fair, they were predicted to finish bottom of the league. They didn't spend a lot of money. Sforza here, I'm not going to pretend to have some kind of familiarity with him. Apparently, in real life, he manages Will? Not a team that I've heard of. Apparently, they play in the Swiss league. But yeah, he manages Will. He went and managed Bristol for a while, but he was sacked from Bristol. I should say Bristol Rovers there, out of fear of offending either City or Rovers fans. And yeah, he's joined Boston, and he's not done great. He stripped Robbie Reed of captaincy, which can't have gone down well. Who did he give captaincy to? He gave it to Cameron John, who, to be fair, he does look like quite a good player, and he's not a bad leader, but yeah, he didn't exactly do well, did he, for Boston United? Oh, okay, what kind of money have Boston got? They've got £1.5 million in the bank. They are spending over their wage budget, which is a little bit of a concern. They've got some money to spend. Will they be able to bounce back up and go back to League Two, back to League One? Let's find out. We'll also see if Pep can get Portsmouth promoted back to the Championship. Okay, guys, the year is 2029. It's officially been 10 years since we started this simulation into the future. How did Pep get on? He's still Portsmouth manager and they've given him another contract and he actually finished second in their league. So they got promoted back up alongside Wigan and Aston Villa. I'm curious from a Boston fan perspective. Did Lincoln get relegated back down? They did. They finished bottom. It's not been a good few years for not for championship sides, but for Lincolnshire sides, has it? You can see here in League One, Villa winning the league quite comfortably. Portsmouth finishing just behind. I guess that's not entirely surprising. Pep still playing his 4-2-3-1. Is Tulloch another player who starts at Man City, or am I going crazy? I am going crazy. I was wondering if Pep had signed more of his former youngsters. Hooper is still their key player. He got 7 goals and 11 assists. So, I don't know. Their prediction was third, so they finished a little bit above it. But at the same time, as a team freshly relegated, you would expect them to get promoted straight back up. What kind of money was Pep spending? He didn't spend a lot at all. Instead, he just kind of stuck with the players he had. Looks like there was quite a high turnover of players, however. Lots of players getting sold for a total of £10 million, which is actually quite an impressive feat to sell that much in terms of players and then still come out of it with, you know, a second place finish and £9.5 million made in the bank. I'm sure the ownership are going to be loving that. You can see he's actually got £7 million now for the Championship and £100,000 of excess in the wage budget. So that's pretty nice. But, well, that's only one half of this story. What has happened to Boston? Please have got promoted back up, you Pilgrims. Where did they finish? Let's find out. They're not in the playoffs. That concerns me. Where are they? They finished 9th. So they finished just outside the playoffs. 2 points outside, although you can see it was an incredibly close season. Ian Holloway is now their manager. Interesting. Arnold is still playing up front for them. So the Arnold saga continues. So they couldn't bounce back up. Their media prediction was 3rd as well. So they were a team expected to, you know, take their kind of step back into the League One. You can see here they've had a chairman takeover as well very recently. Their youth kind of category's been lowered. Oh, it's been a bit of a nightmare. So how did Ian Holloway become manager? So Forza was sacked in December, on the 23rd of December. Happy Christmas, mate. Where did they finish in the league, or where were they in the league at that point? Oh my word. They were really in free fall at that point. So they were down in kind of 11th or maybe even 16th place. It's not been a great year. They were actually top after 13 game weeks. Either the league was ridiculously close or they had an abysmal run of form right before Christmas. Oh my word, that red there is saddening, isn't it? I realise we didn't look at Boston's past kind of cup competition performances. I mean, you can see how they finished bottom of the league, can't you? It's not particularly pretty reading. It's been a rough few years. That run of form there is like season killing, though. Lots of away games, to be fair, but yeah, 5-6 games lost on the bounce. It's not ideal, is it? You can see why they weren't top of the league for much more than they were at the start. Interesting that they were top after 13 games, but their start to the season involved so many draws. That's really weird. Their top goal scorer, again, was Wayne Arnold. He's still there. He's still alive and kicking. 12 goals to his name. But yeah, a little bit miserable for Boston. I feel a little bit sad and empty. As I said, and I mentioned at the start before I knew any of this was going to happen, I'm not going to keep doing these yearly updates. We're going to go forward we'll go forward 3 or 4 years, see where we end up, see what became of the Boston side after Pep. I feel like Pep's just going to move on from Portsmouth before long. We'll have to see if that holds true. I feel like he's become a mercenary now. You know, the relationship with Boston is over. He's no longer in a committed relationship. Anything could happen. And, well, let's go and see exactly what has. Okay, guys, so we are back. The year is 2032. It's not the blue of Portsmouth, it's the blue of Cardiff City, who sit 12th in the Premier League. Pep has ascended. I had this inkling. He's gone full-on mercenary mode now. He has taken a team tipped to finish right down at the bottom of the Premier League. And they've secured a 12th place finish, which is really impressive. I love the fact here, by the way, Fulham have got relegated but also qualified for the Europa League. Did they win the FA Cup? They did. They beat Chelsea on penalties. Of course they did. That is weird. I mean, that could be kind of a fun save if you wanted a bit of a challenge. I will make, by the way, the save game at this point available for download if you want to check it out. Maybe you just want to manage Fulham in that bizarre situation. But yes, Cardiff City, they finished 12th. What happened to Pep? How did he move around? Let's have a look at his milestones here. So he left Portsmouth in 2030. They got promoted back to the Championship. Where are they now? They're still in the Championship, barely. If we just look at league positions, they finished 1 place above the drop. He left, I guess, after that 12th place finish. They got promoted, and he finished 12th with them, which is a really impressive achievement. And then off the back of that, he was headhunted for the Cardiff City job, where actually they were in the Championship. And they won the playoffs, and he got Manager of the Year that year. So I guess he massively overperformed. He appointed Aaron Lennon as a scout. That's weird, isn't it? You can see they made a £12 million signing, Cubas, who looks very good actually at 25 years old. Wow, he is a good little talent. But they signed him. He's only got 3 goals to his name, to be fair. Who's been their goal scorer then? It's been Nuno Silva, who looks pretty good, to be fair. But no, he's massively overachieved with Cardiff City. And I can't say I'm entirely surprised, but I think if anyone thinks manager attributes don't mean anything in Football Manager, the fact that Pep has been able to rebuild his career with absolutely no reputation, and I feel like you have to say he's overperformed with Boston, with Cardiff certainly this year, and even with Portsmouth as well. But manager attributes definitely do mean something. And I'm a little bit hurt. I'm still a little upset that he has left Boston. He had a good 8 years there. He's now had 2 years at Cardiff as well. He's done pretty well during his time. Shall we see what's happened to Boston? I hope they're still in the Football League. They are still in the Football League. They finished 5th in League 2. They didn't make it through the playoffs. They lost in the semi-finals, clearly. They finished 11 on points with Northampton. What has happened in the years since? So they've just been a kind of steady, middle-of-the-road League 2 team. They got in the playoffs for the first time in 4 years this year. terms of managers, they've had a few more changes. Ian Holloway was sacked, then Keith Curle was sacked after a year, and Mark Campbell has currently been in charge for just over a year. So it's kind of a high turnover of managers, isn't it? Which is kind of surprising. You know, they settled with Pep for so long. I guess they got used to him overachieving, and they set their kind of expectations high. They still play at the community stadium, which I imagine is a big source of income for them still. You can see here their wage budget and stuff is pretty healthy. I love the fact that Arnold is still up front for them. The red headband is what I pick him out for. But look at that. A player born and raised a Boston United fan. He's seen the good days. He's seen the bad days. He's seen all the Pep days. He was... Pep was one of his favourite people as well. If we look at Boston's general thing, unsurprisingly, Pep Guardiola is listed as a legend alongside the likes of Paul Ellender, Paul Bastock as well. I mean, names of Boston Hall of Fame. They were predicted to finish 8th, so actually a 5th place finish is a little bit of an overachievement and maybe a sign they're back on the straight and narrow for now at least. Their facilities aren't looking the best, but the squad's still got a very good value. It's a good little team. And Robbie Reid, he's back as captain. What a roller coaster. He's been captain, he's been removed as captain, he's back as captain again. I love that. And you can see he's actually played very regularly since they signed him. Oh, I mean, is this a happy ending? It's an okay ending. It's better than a sad ending. I was expecting Boston maybe just to free fall through the divisions without Pep, and I don't know, to an extent they've done okay without him. They've steadied the ship. Mark Campbell doesn't have the most incredible attributes. I mean, can we compare him to Pep? We can. There's the comparison. Yeah. Little bit of a difference in quality, but I don't know. It's been a fun little adventure, and it's been interesting to see what happened with Boston United and Pep Guardiola, you know, whilst they were together and in their time apart over the last, 4 or 5 years. But anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up this experiment from me. If you've got any ideas for future FM experiments you would like to see, leave them down below. As I already said, a lot of people who watch these videos aren't subscribed. Coming up tomorrow, we're going to have Mbappe trapped at a non-league club. We're going to see what he can achieve in 20 years, where he can't leave, he can't retire. He's just stuck with the same team in the lower leagues of English football. That's going to be a fun one. Hopefully I see you guys for that. Drop a like if you've enjoyed. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.